Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in this morning. Let's double check the audio first, and please let us know if you can hear us loud and
Listo,
clear.
ok.
And we will be using the question panel on the right side of your screen throughout the webinar. So you can use this panel to send us all of your questions through the webinar. Let's use it to confirm that the audio is loud and clear. If you can let us know, please.
Ya listo, Jonathan.
Listo, dame unos minutos nada más.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Thank you, Mr. Roland. Thank you, Bradley, Bert, Tony. Thank you so much. So now let's wait just a couple of minutes for everyone to join in, and we'll be starting the webinar in about 5 minutes.
Hello, everyone. Can we start, Victor?
Yes, we're ready to start. Thank you, Jonathan. So,
Sorry.
ready, Jonathan? Okay, then.
Okay.
So, hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Ruijie Networks, Networking Solutions for CCTV Projects. A quick reminder that this webinar will be recorded and sent to your email right after the webinar. I would like to welcome Jonathan Rios from our Ruijie, who will be our presenter for today's webinar. Please send us all of your questions during the webinar, and we'll be using the question panel that we just used to answer all of your questions. At the end of the webinar, we'll have a Q&A panel to answer all of the questions. For those of you just joining in, welcome, and Jonathan, we're ready.
Thank you so much, Victor. Hello, everyone. This is Jonathan Rios. I'm research engineer for Ruijie. And I will going to present you today the CCTV features, new features. So thank you so much. And please, if you have questions, use your chat box and we will answer at the end of the presentation. Let's start. So please, I don't know if you already have installed the Ruijie Cloud app. So this is the time we are going to use it during this workshop. It will be very interactive. So it's time. Please go to your phone and download the Ruijie Cloud app. Let's take some minutes. If you already have it installed, please confirm that you have the latest version. We are going to use it during this webinar. Just 2 minutes to install the app. Are you ready? So let's continue. Let's see. If you already have the app installed, please open it and go to the right corner and please do check-in. Scan the QR code and you will do check-in. So I'm going to check on my cloud if you are going to do this check-in. Once you do the check-in, you will download a demo project. So you can play with this demo project as you be with working with real devices. Please do the check-in. Okay, so I'm going to present CCTV network solution. It is project on phone. So if you can silent, there is another. Could you mute your microphone, please? Thank you. Thank you so much. So project on your on phone as you on site, you can handle all the functions or the features from the network, from your CCTV network on your phone. Let me show you how is it and how easy it is.
In a CCTV scenario, protecting the safety of personnel and property is the core requirement of users. Therefore, smoothly surveillance video transmission, real-time alarm notification, and fast recover from camera failure are expected. One day, confidential documents have been stolen, but the elevator and corridor camera signal lost, couldn't track the thief. The boss was so angry and asked FI to on-site right away to solve this monitoring problem. 2 hours later, FI finally arrived at the company. When FI tried every means to check the system, they only found that unmanaged switch use in the network cannot figure out failure switch port's location. Second, the elevator was unable to transmit video due to damaged cables. During testing, FI found while the employee downloading, camera video would jam. In the end, he had to restart the switch. All the network interrupted. The other side, the elevator cable replacement should wait for 1 week. The boss asked the SI why it took so much time to solve the problem. Would it happen again? The SI could not guarantee. The boss was so disappointed. Ruijie Cloud Managed CCTV Network Solution, your CCTV network expert that won't disappoint you. Ruijie RGES 200 series Cloud Managed Switch and RGEST 310 wireless bridge are designed for CCTV business. Mobile VLAN configuration, one step to separate your CCTV and production network. The video won't jam anymore. Real-time failure notification would notice users that camera failure in the first place. Remote reboot camera helps you one click to restart the camera at home. No needed on-site anymore. RGEST 310 wireless bridge can build up tunnel to transmit video for elevator and long range. It can not only monitor the wireless status in real time, but also save cost for end users. What's more, 90% time and 70% total cost savings compared with traditional on-site way. Surveillance on cloud, project on phone, as you on site.
Okay, as we see on the video, for the CCTV network, there are some requirements for the end user. Those are like this: protecting safe of personal and property, a smooth video transmission all the time, even if there is some failure on the network or on one camera, need fast failure restore. So how can we comply this? How can we do this? Those are some application scenarios like hotel, office, coffee shop, and retails. So how can we guarantee the smooth video transmission and fast failure recovery? We are going to talk about these 4 points: an easy deployment, a stable CCTV system, real-time alarm, and remote maintenance. We are going to see each one on the next slides. easy deployment. So easy configuration. How is the classic configuration or the configuration for the network, for the CCTV network on other brands? You have to go to the site, one engineer or one specialist go to the configuration using the laptop, the computer, and using sometimes the CLI, the command line interface, to configure VLANs and ports, every configuration doing with the laptop connected to the network. Sometimes the installer is not the one that do the configuration. You need an extra person, some specialist to do this. And with our solution, it is really easy. The installer can do the configuration by himself. Just need to scan the QR code, benefits, plug and play, same as unmanaged switch. Just plug and play the devices and manage switches with the phone. Just with the phone, you can manage all the switches. So on the cloud, you can see the real topology and monitor the camera's status on Ruijie Cloud. You can list all the cameras. It is auto-detected, so you don't need to configure anything extra. The Ruijie Cloud are going to detect all the cameras and are going to list all this. So this is very easy for the monitoring. So let's see all the cameras on your cloud. Please open your cloud, Ruijie. Victor, are you there?
Yeah, Jonathan?
So I want to project my phone, but I'm not able. I don't know if you can help us. Is it possible for you to?
Totally.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I just changed the presentation to your phone. Let us know if you can see it.
Okay. Just let me see if you can see my phone screen.
Yeah, now we're seeing it.
Okay. So you can follow me with your phone. So if you see you have a demo project on your phone, once you do the check-in, you create a demo project. So here you can see the demo project. Go to the demo project, and you can see the topology. You see all the devices on your network. We have one protocol called SON, self-organized network. So you don't need to add any device. All the devices are going to be detected, and it will show you on the real topology. This one is a demo, but it's exactly as the same of real network. So go to topology, and here you can see all the access points, switches, gateways, and even the cameras. You can see here I have all the cameras. Even you can see the traffic of each camera. On the real deployment, I mean, here there are no traffic because it's just the demo, but on real deployment, you can see the traffic of each camera. You can handle all your cameras here from the same network. Okay, let's continue with the presentation. Please, Victor, you help me to.
Yes, one moment. Ready.
Thank you. So let me show you some features. We have some PoE extension in specific ports. So it's very easy to configure, support up to, sometimes you have some cameras with longer distance. I mean, for the standard, you can only install network devices up to 100 meters. It is because the Ethernet standard, but you can, if you have one camera with longer distance, let's say 150 meters or 200 meters, so we can enable long distance in each port. So you can install cameras up to 250 meters. So these features is also handled by other brands like Hikvision or TP-Link, but let's see what is the difference with our device and those other brands' devices. For example, with Hikvision, if you enable these features, you are going to enable it on the first 8 ports. That means that if you only need one port, it doesn't matter. You are going to enable it in all the in the first 8 ports. When you enable these features, so the speed of the port decrease to 10 megabits per second. So you are going to waste all the other ports. If you only need one, if you only have one or two cameras with long distance, the other ports are going to be wasted. You maybe want to use it for access points or for any other device, but if you use those ports for other connections, the speed of those ports are going to be to 10 megabits per second. So it's a waste of ports. Even it's the same with the TP-Link device. There is a switch. When you enable this switch, all the ports of the device will be on 10 megabits per second and will handle long distance. So it's the same. If you want to connect the NVR or any other device, a laptop, you are going to decrease the speed of that port. So your NVR are going to run at 10 megabits per second, and you are not going to use 1 gig or 100 megabits per second. So the speed is going to be very, very slow. For one camera, it's okay, but for another device, it's a waste of ports. So let me show you how easy it is to do it on your cloud. Victor, please, sorry, could you switch me to my fonts?
Ready.
Thanks. Okay. So here we have our network. So just going to the switch. Sorry, I'm going to change project. On this project, you can follow me with your own devices. So just go to the switch. And here we have the option, long distance transmission. And just have to select the port. Which port is the one that you are going to extend? Once you have the port, just save the configuration and it will be enabled. This port is only for one camera. Even if you have two ports, you can enable it in only the specific port that you are going to use for this long distance camera. So you don't have to waste the other ports. You can have access point or another devices on the other ports, and the speed on the other ports would be 1 gigabit per second, and in the specific port that, where you enable or where you need this long distance transmission, you will be transmitting on 10 megabits per second. So it's very easy to configure and it saves resources. I mean, you don't have to enable it in all the ports at the same time, like in the other brands. Victor, could you please switch?
Ready.
Thank you. Also, we have sometimes you have a requirement for long distance for more than 100, from more than 250 meters distance. So for these deployments, like farms, factories, bridges, even for elevators, we use these devices a lot in some elevator deployments where the cabling is very difficult to do it. So we use these devices. It is the RG EST 310 wireless bridge. It allows you up to 1 kilometer distance. So if you need to install one camera like this one that is showing in this farm plantation deployment, you can connect the camera using this wireless bridge. And the benefits are that it includes the self-organization network protocol, so it will be detected on your network automatically. You don't have to enable it, and it does the automatic pairing automatic. So it's going to establish the link by itself. You don't need to make a lot of configuration on the device. It is already configured, so it's going to make the pairing. It's going to establish the link by itself. So this device, this wireless bridge, this is a battle car. A comparison with other brands, as you can see, it handles more throughput than the Tenda and TP-Link devices, and also the benefits that advantage features that I already mentioned. That is automatic self-healing. This means that if for some reason the link drops, for some maybe interference or some other reason the links go down, so it will automatically restore it. You don't need to configure anything or change even channel or channel transmission. It will do it automatically, so it will to restore the link. And it's supported by the cloud, so you have cloud managed on these devices. How can achieve a stable CCTV system? Let me show you our features about this. I think everyone knows this failure. It's very common failure on networks, the loop. It's sometimes people connect the same cable on the same switch, generating a loop, and this will collapse all the network. If you have traffic, camera traffic on the switch, and for an error, you generate a loop on that, all the traffic is going to be down. You are going to drop all the network. So these kind of issues is really difficult to handle. Even if you have unmanaged switches, you have to send someone to the site and validate all the connections one by one. So we have one solution for this. We have loop prevention. So you can see which port is in loop. It's going to generate you an alert, so you can go and disable the port or just send someone to disconnect the specific cable on the specific port. It's going to show you an alarm that that port is on loop, and you can send someone to only disconnect that. Here you can see this is the option, loop prevention. Just enable it. You can do it on your cloud right now. Just go to the switch, see the tool, the options that you have down, and you can enable loop prevention. Also, you can disable it if you have some specific configuration where you need to connect two cables to another switch for redundancy or aggregation link. Maybe you don't want to have these features. You can disable it for a specific configuration or specific scenarios, but it's highly recommended to have it enabled if you are using only for connection on your switch. So you can avoid a very huge problems if you enable it. So other features to keep you stable your CCTV network is real-time alarm. So you have this option in the web, in the cloud web, even in the Ruijie cloud app. You can see all the alarms on your mobile phone, so it can give you a lot of time to go and try to restore the camera with before that the end user report. Is very different that you have the report or the failure reported by the end user. If you notice that you have a failure before he reports, is very professional to solve these problems. To say to the end user, I'm already working on that, and it's different that you answer that you don't know about the failure. So this real alarm, let me give you an example. How does it work? So Victor, please, could you switch me to my cloud?
Yes, ready.
Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to use this project. So here we have the toolkit, and here you have alarm on, off. Just have to enable this, and it will show you if one camera is down. So here even we have a demo alarm. Let me enable it. So IP camera offline. So if we go to the alarms, it show you there is let's see, there is IP camera offline. So you go to the alarm, and it's very easy to try to fix the issue. It gives you a lot of options, so you can go to the switch, see which camera is alarming, and even with you can do a reboot of the port. You don't need to reboot all the switch. Sometimes trying to restore just one camera, you do a switch reboot, and when the switch is restored, you have 2 or 3 cameras offline, and it's worse. So for those devices, for Ruijie devices, you can reboot only the specific port. For example, port 3, I can do a reboot and it will be rebooted. In case you cannot restore this camera with a reboot, you can send someone to the site to validate a specific port and a specific camera even before the end user reported. So these features really help you to save a lot of time. Victor, please, could you switch me to the presentation? Thank you.
Right.
So another feature is remote maintenance. So this say that 75% of the IP cameras failures can be solved with a simple reboot. You just unplug or reset the camera, and once it's restored, you have video again. You have signal video again. So for this reboot, many times you have to send someone to the site to do it. So with our solution, as I show you in the past, you can do it remotely. You can do camera reboot only with your and on the specific ports. You don't need to reboot all the device, all the switch. Just reboot the specific port, and you can reestablish the video. Many of the times, most of the times, this will restore the video signal. So you save again money and time. You don't need to send someone or have even a specific IT engineer on site to do this, to do the reset. You can do it remotely. I already showed you how to do it on your cloud, so you can do it again by yourself. You can play and follow me with all these options. You can do it on your own device. So another very nice option, and it's very helpful, is to access to the NVR or even to a one camera remotely. You sometimes need to do some adjustment on the NVR, so you can do it through the network, through the cloud, to the Ruijie cloud app. You don't need to do any extra configuration or any difficult configuration. For example, for do this in other brands, you need to do DDNS, or maybe go to the router, to the main router, or do some port forwarding, use an public IP address to do the configuration. So it is really complicated. But with those, just one feature, this is the intranet access, and you will have access to your NVR directly on the cloud. You can, it's not recommended to see the video transmission because it's going to be very slow. If you want to monitor one camera, the video specific, if you want to transmit it, you can do it, but the video is going to be very slow. It's more like if you want to do some adjustment or some reset or some, you can handle something on the NVR, you can do it remotely. Just it's very easy configuration. You don't need to do anything specialist for this. Just let me show you again. Please, Victor, could you switch me to my phone? Okay. So let me show you. Here we have our project. So on the toolkit, just going to this intranet access. So here I'm going to configure the NVR IP address. And open. And that's it. You will be able to open the browser of the NVR configuration. So it's going to redirect you to the web configuration, and here you can log in to your NVR. So just log in to it and you can handle it. You can manage, you can do everything you want on the NVR. You see, it's really, really easy to do it. It's very simple to configure it and to have access to your NVR. So you don't need any extra configuration on routers or any other device. Victor, please, could you switch me to my?
Ready.
Thanks, Victor. Even we have this option for unmanaged switches. Sometimes you decide to, or for specific projects, you cannot use managed switches. So for unmanaged switches, we have the option to add to the network. You can add the devices and you can monitor on the network. Just for monitor, you cannot configure anything extra like ports or something else because it's unmanaged switch, but you can see the cameras connected through this switch. If you have, for some reason, you have to use any unmanaged switch, we have this option. So just have to take in consideration some things like for this option, we'll be able to manage switch in the network if there is a router. If there is a router on the network, you can do it. If there is no router, you cannot add these unmanaged switches to the network. So just go to the cloud and on the topology, go to the switch and you can add the unmanaged switches. And as I told you, you can see all the cameras connected through this device. If you have 3 cameras, you are going to see the cameras, just not be able to see in which port is connected each one, but you will be able to see the cameras if they are online or offline. So which device is better for your project? So sometimes, as I told you, for sometimes for cost, trying to save some money, you use unmanaged switches. But looks like very easy solution. Just plug and play. Put your unmanaged switch and plug all the devices to this network, and that's it. You have your network working. But if you consider that if you have some failure on these unmanaged switches, you are going to have to send someone on site for maintenance, and this is going to generate additional engineer. If any issue on the network, you need to send someone to check on site. So it generates an extra cost. And if you use managed switches, like our ES200 series cloud managed switches, you have many options. It's also plug and play. As you see, just connect and do all the configuration on the network. It has camera recognition, remote reboot, free cloud management, automatic loop prevention, long distance transmission. So all those features help you to reduce the cost. It's cost down. So at the end, it's better to use a managed switches, and the difference of the price is not so considerable if you consider this failures or this remote maintenance. We have different switches for this solution. If you want PoE ports, we have with 5, 6, 9, 10, 8, 24 ports, PoE ports, or if you want to use non-PoE, also we have some option. Even for long distance, even for larger CCT deployments, you can use our MBS 52 series or 32 series. We have layer 2+ switches with 10 gigabit interfaces, or layer 2 switches, or the managed series switches, that is the ES200 series, or we have like the cheaper option, the unmanaged switches for all your deployments. So that's it from my side. That is the presentation. I don't know, please let me know your comments if you have some questions, if you like these new features, if you think that it's very easy or it's complicated. Please let me know your opinion.
Thank you, Jonathan. And also, if we can share again the QR code, that's one of the questions that we had through the webinar. And well, thank you everyone for your time. Also, let's answer a few of the questions that you sent us through the question chat. And if you have any other question, please send us your question at this moment, and we'll be happy to answer that with Jonathan.
Here it is. Please, if you did the checklist, the check-in, please, you can do it now.
Thank you, Jonathan. Okay, so we're gonna leave that so you can scan your QR code. And while you do that, well, let's also answer a few of the questions. So 1 second. So Mr. Tony Nakat was asking about what brands are the cameras that you were showing on the presentation?
I think for the presentation, those cameras are high vision.
Thank you. And as Jonathan mentioned, no, go ahead.
So sorry, you can see on your cloud, you can see there is a list of cameras, different brands. You can go directly to your project, to your demo project, and on the cameras you can add a camera, and you will see a list from the supported cameras.
Thank you, Jonathan. And yes, as Jonathan is mentioning, you can connect all the AppCom cameras as well as Hikvision, as well as the ones that you have on the list of your app. Also, Mr. Bradley is asking us, what is the info for the app, the logging info? I think, Jonathan, this should be specific for every user, or?
Yes, it's specific for every user. Once you install it, it will send you an confirmation email, and you can log in directly to your cloud. It's going to use your email address, and you are going to generate a specific password for your email address.
Thank you, Jonathan. Another question from Ron is, why is it asking to connect to the WLAN at Ruijie?
Sorry, again, that question, Victor? I didn't
Let's
understand.
check. Maybe it's something specific to the presentation, but he's asking, why is it asking to connect to the WLAN at Ruijie? I'm not sure if it was
I think you are talking about when you create a demo project.
correct.
For the very first time that you create a project, if you are on a real deployment, I mean, you just need to connect to the wireless network. It's with a default SSID. So just have to look for that SSID and connect it. Once you are connected to the SSID, you are going to see all the network and start with your configuration. But this on real deployment. When you create a new project, you can select demo project. You can play with those options. You don't need to have the real devices with you. You can create a demo project. If you create a real project, you need to be on site for scanning the QR of code on the devices, or connect via wireless to the devices.
Thank you, Jonathan. And also, Mr. Ron was asking, we're going to be sharing the presentation as well as the recording of the webinar. So after the webinar, you'll be getting an email with these two resources. And we also want to invite you to check our YouTube channel where we storage all of the webinars. So in case that you miss one from the past weeks, you can always go into our YouTube AppCom and check those webinars there. So another question from Mr. Byron Johnson. Are these switches layer 2 or layer 3?
For these Ruijie devices, for the ones that I show you, we have layer 2 plus, layer 2 devices. We also have layer 3 devices on the Ruijie devices. We have both options. Depends on your project. We can provide layer 3 if you need layer 3, and we have layer 2 plus and layer 2.
Thank you, Jonathan. And one last question from Mr. Edgardo Duran. He's asking us PoE-AT, the high power feature.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, what about that features? Is a specific question for that feature?
Mr. Edgardo, if you can send more information. The question was just PoE-AT, the high power feature, and that was it. And we have another question from Mr. Byron. Do you have fiber switches as well?
Yeah, of course. Of course, we have different kind of switches. We have for data centers, for access switches. We have fiber switches with 2 or 3 or 4 ports, fiber ports. Yes, we have. Even on your cloud, there is a section that say products. You can see on the slide right now. On this product, you can look for your switches. You can look for, if you have any specific requirement, I don't know, you need 4 fiber ports and 20 PoE ports. You can look for products there, and you can see which model fits with your project. Even you can compare with another brands on the Salesforce, on your cloud. If you go to Salesforce, you can look for some specific switches and compare with another brands. For example, TP-Link, the same kind of switch, and what are the benefits with our devices.
Thank you, Jonathan. And well, that was the last question. So let's wait. If someone else needs to scan the QR code, let's leave it there a minute or two. And well, we want to thank Jonathan for your time this morning and for all this valuable information about Ruijie. We want to remind you that we have stock in Miami for your next project, and our support team is ready to help you. So in case that you may have a project coming up, or if you want to review a project that you want to install in the next few weeks, Jonathan is ready to help us, as well as our EPCOM engineers. So please send us an email on the email that will be getting with the presentation as well as the video. So we'll be happy to help you. Mr. Bradley is telling us that the QR code is invalid. I don't know if there is something that we can do with the QR code to make it valid, Jonathan.
Sure, let me see. Let me see that one. Just I'm going to show you another QR. Just give me 1 second. Thank you for that. Let me.
So Jonathan is helping us with that. Yes, Mr. Bird, we'll be getting another QR code in a moment. So we are still have the session open, so don't worry, we'll have it here for another couple of minutes. We just want to remind you that we have stock, and we have our support team ready to help you in case that you have a project coming up. Also, we want to invite you to our future webinars, so please keep checking the EPCOM website on our webinar section, so you can log in to our future sessions. Also, one great news from Ruijie, we'll be sending you, since you attended to this webinar, we'll be sending you a promotion only for the attendees of this session. So in your future purchases of Ruijie projects, we'll be giving you a discount on a specific model. So you'll be getting that information on your email, so please check it out. It's a great discount. Hopefully that will help you start a new project with Ruijie. And for Mr. Roland, how can we be a local reseller or partner? So we'll be contacting you directly. So if you can send us your information for your country, that way we can review on a specific terms if we can sell you directly or throughout one of our exclusive partners for on your region.
Victor,
So,
sorry, could you switch to my phone? I'm going to share the new QR code.
Yes, no problem.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet, but maybe there. Now we're seeing your phone.
Please, sorry about that. Please, if you can scan this QR.
Now you have it on screen. Please let us know if you can scan the QR code for Ruijie. This is the new QR code that you can scan directly on your app. And please let us know through the questions panel on the right side of your screen that you can scan it correctly. Mr. Roland, thank you. So, well, as we mentioned, this webinar will be sent to your email. Please keep checking on our website and social media for more information on our weekly webinars. And thank you again, Jonathan, for your time this morning. And thank you everyone for attending to this Ruijie session. So, Jonathan, I don't know if you want to add anything else.
Just thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate that, and thanks. That's it.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Goodbye.
Bye bye.